Okay, we will start now. And so, again, let me just say hello to everybody who is already here, everybody who is watching us also on YouTube. We will now and so every week the same thing. So. Welcome again. Welcome for the ones who are watching us live on YouTube. Welcome to you too. And for the ones who are live with us on Zoom, of course, welcome to all of you. And I am very excited that you are joining us for a very, very, very exciting and unusual session today. It will be a topic that we have not spoken about yet since the beginning of this series. For the ones who are with us on the series for the very first time, I would like to introduce the series to you. It's Your Life has started on the 1st of April because of the situation. COVID-19 has brought us online, and we decided to do this something to bring to allow people to have more happiness, more inner balance and freedom and peace within them. We have had amazing speakers since the 1st of April who brought to you amazing and very, very various, very diverse topics. Now, on the mid of May, we started doing these sessions weekly. So we are live every Tuesday with another topic, with another speaker, but every single one who has a lot to say, a lot to share, a lot of experience. For the ones who don't know me, my name is Mona Abdelrahim Zantel, and I'm the owner and founder of Mind Your Power. And at Mind Your Power, it is all about your power. It is about saying whatever happens outside, we cannot change. However, we will change the way we see the things or the way we react to them. There are many, many different techniques, many different modalities that we can use for that. And today I have a very special guest here. Today on the call, we have Dr. Joelle Samaha. Now, I have known Joelle since, how many years, Joelle? I don't know, many, many, many years.
8 years at least.
8 years at least. She has, and let me just pull up here I don't want to forget something because there's so much she has. 15 years plus of experience in, first of all, teaching. When I met her, she was already teaching at the university in Lebanon and schools, teaching diploma in philosophy. Joelle was always very interested in research and that body-mind connection, the relationship between the health, the mental health, the physical health, the emotional health, and then the physical diseases. She will tell you the story of how she struggled with health issues, and also within her family, she had issues that made her even research even more. She has a certificate in counseling. She has a certificate in hypnotherapy and NLP and theta healing. She's a life coach. She is really, really motivated to bring that awareness more to people. And therefore, she founded Philo Life Wellbeing Education Center in Dubai, bringing closer to people that understanding of how mental issues and how mental health can affect physical health. Anything else and everything else, she will tell you herself, because she can do it so much better than I can. So today she will bring in all her vast experience of teaching in philosophy and really going back to very, very old philosophy, old philosophers who have already spoken about that connection. And this will be one part, but then again, she will have a very interactive part where you can yourself ask yourself the questions that she will ask you to find out how your health is. So this will be a part where you can interact, where you can contribute, where you can ask questions, and then at the end she will end that with a wonderful hypnosis meditation session where you can really boost your immunity with. So without further ado, Joelle, I'm so happy you're here, and welcome to the call tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this lovely introduction. I'm so glad to be here, first of all, and then I'm so glad to see my photo next to yours, Mona. You have been a teacher, you inspired me in different ways, and I'm really honored to be on your platform tonight. So yeah, that was quite an introduction. In fact, I wanted to start with my story, but half of it is like already said, kind of. But we'll go through things. I'm gonna combine my experience with my personal story, with lots of interesting things. I always wanted philosophy to be fun, philosophy to be something that people would look forward in terms of wisdom, in terms of practicality. I used to teach at high school and university, and my students always wanted more of coaching than just, you know, giving them theories. They wanted to know how to use this knowledge in practical ways. And this is from where comes my dream of having a center, which is a safe place for adolescents, teenagers to open up, to learn more than to do therapy, to learn and then to be guided to achieve what they are meant to achieve. So basically, this is what I look forward to do. Now, today I'm going to share with you a mix of my personal story about health, about my father's struggle with cancer, how this inspired me somehow, how lately I've got through some health issues, which taught me a lot about myself and about my practice as a life coach. So I would say that what I founded, or I'm the founder of what I call Philo Life Therapeutic Training. It's a combination of teaching philosophy and coaching. My dream is to be in schools, university, to be in the corporate world and to introduce philosophy in a practical way, because you're going to see today, and I want to prove it to you, that all the new let's say trend of positivity, of healing, of holistic trends, this all started in philosophy, in the ancient philosophy wisdom. And this is why the more I went into research, the more I was astonished to see that the key was there. So to keep it short, I would just start maybe sharing my screen with you. I have a nice presentation, and then we'll go through things. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Joelle, we are.
Okay, all right. So it's boost your immunity through ancient philosophy wisdom. In fact, the immunity topic is a trend right now because of the COVID pandemic. But I want to show that when we face something like this, we have to be prepared. It's similar to anything we can face in life, and we have to work on ourselves in different ways. So the agenda is like, first I'll start with my story. Then you would see like Philia on a health journey. In fact, Philia is a character I have created to communicate philosophy wisdom. Philia comes from feline, which is love, and Philia is a person who asks questions and seek answers through philosophy. So we're going to see what type of issue she will show us today, or she will be facing, and how the wisdom would be helpful to her. Then Hippocrates, a unique approach to health and well-being. We'll see a range of very famous old philosopher. We'll see their practical sides, and then we'll go through a practical health coaching assessment, like how would you assess your health based on all these theories. The meditation will come, and then we'll see Philia at the end coming up with the real meaning of prevention. So this is the plan for tonight, and this is where I start. In fact, I'm sharing with you today, and honestly, it's the first time I would share my story. Um, you can see on the screen like my father, my mom, and me. So I grew up in a family who's very loving and caring, but we all know that living in Lebanon with all the stresses, we were born during the war, and I know it's still going on till now. In fact, it's still ongoing. So I grew up having lots of questions. I do remember at the age of 15 having lots of um, questions around my identity, who am I meant to be? And I felt at some point that my teachers would be a bit surprised, like, why these questions? And I was like, I started just like falling in love with philosophy by reading these books at a very early age. And by the age of 18, when I decided to go for philosophy, I do remember that my father was not really appreciating my choice. He could not see how this will lead to a career and to make money. And there were lots of other careers more famous at that time, like being a doctor, being a lawyer, being an engineer. And since I had a very good educational background and very good grades, it was kind of a shock. But I felt that this was my call. And this is where I started, in fact, learning. And I wanted to know more about philosophy. How can it be practically implemented? I still remember asking questions to my professors and always ending up asking more about the practicality. I wanted it to be practical. I even wanted my thesis to have a practical part. And this was like always kind of a shock because we can do surveys, statistics, etc., in psychology and sociology, but in philosophy, it's always theoretical. So I grew up with lots of dreams, lots of wishes, lots of romance. I read lots of books. And then I started my life by choosing a partner, which was not maybe what I expected. It wasn't his fault. It was maybe what I did not expect. But at the same time, this is where I started, I mean, kind of feeling what stress could be in life. And going through all the hassle, I started getting more stomach pain as if it was ulcer. I would just not be able to drink water. I was hospitalized a few times. And whenever they would do a checkup, again, they would tell me everything is fine, everything is okay health-wise. So it was kind of confusing. And I started getting more questions like, how can it be? How can my stress, I used to hear the word stress a lot, be impacting my health? And it's like I couldn't do anything because there was no medication for it at that time, or they would put me on antidepressant, which was not like the reason or the treatment because I wasn't feeling depressed. I just had pain in my stomach. So this is where I started going through that divorce. It was painful, it was like difficult, but at the same time, I was learning and learning. And philosophy was my remedy. I was reading how to deal with my emotions. I was reading more about how to aim for better, how to build a new future. And this is where, during that period, I had met my current husband. He was so different. He was Indian. He's a homeopath. Lots of new things came into the picture, and I was kind of open to all this new knowledge, but I wasn't sure where it would take me. And coincidentally, my father was diagnosed with cancer in June 2011. So that was a shock because for me, these things happen to others. And I think most people who go through these experiences say the same. So I was even like kind of doubtful. Many times I argued with the doctor. I was like researching multiple sclerosis. I wanted to prove that it wasn't the case. But at that time, we realized it was like late stages of cancer, and this was like tough to digest. Then at this time, I wanted to help. So medically, everybody said like it's the end, and I wanted to help. My husband was giving homeopathic remedies, which was easing his pains, which was helping his digestion, his ulcers, all of these things. But still, there was something which was missing. Like I started questioning, like, why him? He had a tough childhood. Was it his childhood? How things came to this stage? So and at that time I was preparing for my PhD thesis, and I hadn't chosen any topic. And since he was going through a lot of turmoil and he was like a kind of suffering, I decided that I wanted to get married during that period because he was still there. So I pushed it ahead. And you can see on the screen, this is my family, like Javed's, my husband's Javed, and my parents-in-law. It was a different culture, different in every way. Like I had to embrace lots of things, the way we dress, the way we think. I love that I embraced the peace they live in, and this is something which was transforming, in fact. So what ultimately happened is, okay, I'm just gonna move forward. Okay, so this is what exactly happened in this picture in the middle. I got married just in July after my father was diagnosed with cancer. And in fact, my father pushed me to go for a honeymoon. It was a mix of feeling which I couldn't deal with. So, and he said, you have to go. I will not do anything. I'll be there. You'll come back. It's only a week, etc. And this is the picture where we landed. We decided to go to the Himalayas, to Ladakh, and that's in India. And this is where my transformation started. And I wanted to know more about health and well-being. I landed in Ladakh. I still remember in this photo, I was totally confused. What happened is, like, because of the altitude, I went into a state of confusion, like total confusion. And this is where, again, in the middle of the airport, I sat on my suitcases and I was like, what's happening? And my husband explaining me that it's okay. Like I was asking myself, where am I? What am I going to do here? Why am I here? And I just freaked out. And this is where, after like half an hour or an hour, I was just like kind of again back to my consciousness. And then I realized, like, how can the altitude have an effect on my body and my mind? I was confused. So I started wondering, how can disease be separated from the mind part? Like, how can we analyze one part of who we are and just leave the other part, because I'm not able to put it under a microscope? So the journey started. All these photos you are seeing are in monasteries, Buddhist monasteries. I started seeing Buddhists praying. We met a few monks. I started connecting with local villager who had wisdom to give. It was like really a transforming kind of experience. I was kind of determined. I'll come back. I want to learn more. Why are these people so peaceful? Why are they looking healthy? The virgin nature? Is it about their practice? Is it about what is it about that makes them happy? Before being healthy, they looked happy. So this is where the thing started. After that, I came back to Lebanon. My father passed away just in September after a month. It was kind of devastating, and I couldn't do much to him, but I sat and I wondered, what do I want to study from here onwards? What's my purpose? And all I could think about is preventing disease. I wanted to prevent that any other father in the world would go through all this, or any person I love would go through this. And I know that we might all be genetically predetermined, but I was sure that there is a part which is related to our will, to our way of living. And I wanted to see the connection. Is it that the emotional turmoil my father has been through, which has triggered his cancer at the age of 59? Lots of practical questions. So since my husband is Indian, I was drawn into that culture. The music, you can see the photo here. It was like in Rajasthan. Then we went to see Maasais in the jungle. And again, the dancing, it was like relieving. They dance with their whole body, relieving energy, relieving things. Like they look healthy. They look really happy. So there was something which was in common between all these civilizations. So for the first time, I was introduced to hugging a tree, like you can see in that picture, or even like going to temples. Here, this picture was taken in Thailand, where I decided to go to a health resort where I could fast for 10 days without eating, because this was possible, where they do lots of enemas, Chinese therapy, and they would work on the umbilical cord. Lots of things were going there. And these experiences started to change me, because when I started fasting, they used to tell me, like, you might start bursting in tears, because once the body is detoxified, then the emotional part will start. And I was like, how can this happen? And this is what I went through. I started literally a kind of mourning, just there in the middle of nowhere alone. And I realized when I was there that I had difficulty staying alone, because my husband left me, traveled back to Dubai, and I was like, I can't sit alone. I have never realized that I can't sit with myself. And this was the most shocking thing. So I knew that my road, my path is still long, and I have to do lots of things regarding my health. And the thing is, after 6 days of fasting, like literally fasting, I had more energy, but I was very down. I started feeling unwell. I wanted to come back. And this is where I came back in the middle of the trip. Like, I cut it short and came back, and I spoke to my husband and I said, listen, I think I've got enough knowledge, but I need to work on myself. And this is where I met you, Mona, and this is where I started going into different direction, getting knowledge, wanting to come up with a thesis which will be life transforming and which will be helpful for people to be able to assess their health with different criteria, not the criteria I have been raised to look at, like blood tests, scans, all of these things that might be normal, but within I might feel abnormal. And this is why my thesis was about the concepts of health and disease, and what is normal and what is abnormal. So at this stage, I would say that I got really better. I worked on myself, and then I started with the kids. I got two beautiful children, and I had one child from my earlier marriage. So I had three kids with me. Beautiful, grateful for having them. They taught me a lot, and but I got the two kids one after the other. So again, I was feeling kind of tired, and this is where my next I would say challenge would be. Now, why Philia on a health journey? I mean, I don't want to talk more about the latest experience I had, which is like just less than a year ago. I want Philia to tell you more. Philia is a character I have created. It's a cartoon animation to talk more about kind of real cases and how philosophy could help these cases. So I'll let you read in the slides. So, you know, this is what Philia was feeling, like running away, exhausted, wanted to be by herself. And the family was continuously saying, you're a strong woman, you're going to be okay. Worse than this has happened to you. And I think, why did I put this into a story? Because I think it is meant to spread awareness about the situation. So as you've seen, these are the symptoms I was feeling. Heat in my head, jaw is painful, something hurting behind my ear, not able to sleep, falling from a height continuously through the night, heat in my head, which is unbearable. And this is the husband who was answering Philia, take a break, it's all stress, you're having anxiety attacks. And Philia must have been very shocked. And the answer would be like, I'm a coach. I have been helping people deal with their anxiety. I have not seen so many physical symptoms as an anxiety indicator. So I want to get it checked. And then again, the husband, which is the homeopath, would say, I will give you a remedy, but you need to decide to heal and accept that this is anxiety and let go of fear if you want to help yourself. But Philia could not really relate. No, I'm dying. I need a brain MRI right now. So this was the reaction. It makes me laugh because it is reality. So here we go. Symptoms were aggravating. Fear of disease was taking over her. She decides to run all possible tests to rule out that she's not going through a terminal illness. At that point, these were the questions. The questions were more about, could we prevent a health deterioration? What does it mean to want to heal? Do we have a choice? Like, is there a choice in this? How can we assess our health when we don't have physical symptoms before anything dramatic happens? Like, why do we have to fall sick and reach a point where we can't rewind the whole thing? Can we predict a health issue? How can we know that things are going towards disease before we fall sick? Did I miss my inner self signals? So these are the questions that I was continuously asking myself, that if it was not a disease, then what was that? Like, what was it? So the question would be, can ancient philosophy wisdom help Philia answer these questions and guide her through her crisis? So the story will be continued at the end. So if Philia had to ask philosophers, she would go to Hippocrates. Why? Because he's the father of medicine. I mean, he's a Greek physician. He is a very important figure in medicine. He installed all the ethical practices that serves as a moral guide for physicians today. He is well known by doctors. I think what was put behind was lots of his advice, lots of his practice, lots of his experience. So what is unique about his approach to health and well-being? And we're talking about 460 before Christ, so that's really an ancient wisdom. So he used to say that doctor's duty is to alleviate suffering of people. Then this is the case, we agree. He must be able to communicate their knowledge in a way that is understandable and beneficial to people. He was talking about a doctor who would sit and listen to a patient for an hour if required, listen, understands. He has to choose the right treatment because each person is experiencing the disease in a different way. What works for one person cannot work for another person. And this is what we, right now, I would question in the approach of medicine right now. Like 10 minutes, just 10 minutes would be given with a doctor, and then we have to get out. He's looking at the watch. He tells us sometimes that, I mean, I have people waiting. Personalized medicine based on diet and lifestyle. So I do remember that when my husband spoke about his medical studies, he said that they don't learn much about diet and they don't learn much about lifestyle. It's not in their curriculum. So this is maybe more of an invitation for doctors to look into the other holistic approach of health, not because it is better or it's not because I'm trying to compare, because I think the combination is unique and would reach better results. So what are Hippocrates' tips to boost your health? So he would say, make sure you see a real doctor. And then here would be the question, like, what would a real doctor mean? Definitely it's a doctor who has his certificates, who is, etc. But it also can mean the doctor we relate to. This is why they used to go to family doctors, because they used to know the person since childhood. They were able to connect and they were able to kind of discuss all aspects of life. Know what person the disease has rather than what disease the person has. I mean, it's very important. What is the disease doing to the person and how it is changing emotionally, physically the person? Because we cannot look into certain just medical criteria and judge if a person is well or not well. So fill your medicine cabinet with food and walk. He would say, like, walk and walk a lot. Don't make sudden lifestyle changes. What a good advice, because right now we see a surge in keto diets, lots of diets which are drastic, and then he would even say, like, a bad diet sustained is better than jumping from a lifestyle to another. So this is very important because it's like a shock to the body. To do nothing is also a good remedy. So he would say, sometimes when you have fever, just do nothing, accept that your body needs the rest. It needs that part. Everything in moderation. Treat pain with heat, like heat pads. Try drinking honey and vinegar to breathe. So it looks like for him, honey and vinegar were a good combination for breathing and for pulmonary disease. So the thing is that these points are still valid, and I just chose a few. If you really dig into it, you will see that he had done experiments around these things. And we would see that right now we're going back to this naturopathy, the honey, the vinegar, that we try everything naturally before we jump into choice of pills, etc. I mean, this for me is the most beautiful quote for Hippocrates. If someone wishes for good health, one must first ask oneself if he's ready to do away with the reasons for his illness. Only then it is possible to help him. I think all counselors, hypnotherapists, NLP practitioners would relate to this quote, because this is what we do. In fact, we try to unfold the reasons behind the physical symptom. If we are programmed to be sick because it's serving us subconsciously, then we have to let go. Otherwise, even with all the medication of the world or all the remedies holistically, we would be just going back and forth. We will be just like not having a stable state of health. So this is, I think this is the start to any questioning of health. Do we really, now the question would be like, would you be saying, Joelle, that somebody doesn't want to heal? I would say, no, not consciously, but it's subconsciously because of some reasons. Like, I discovered a self-limiting belief, which is like kind of hilarious for me, but it made sense for the small girl within me, that people who are thin are sick people. Like if you lose weight, that means you're sick. So I continuously struggled with losing weight, because when I lose 4 or 5 kgs, I start asking myself, am I sick or this is just the diet? So something like this is so powerful that it reflects on the body and on the mind. So this is where we are invited to question. So insight on health and happiness, Socrates and Plato. Now, I just did this whole presentation because it's just interesting to know that Socrates was Plato's teacher and Aristotle was Plato's student. So they were really connected. So all the wisdom they have presented is kind of connected. So I'll go only through relevant quotes that will make you feel the same. I think I felt the moment I read and I dived into this knowledge that it is so true, so relevant till today. Like if you would seek health, look first to the spine. I mean, till now, there are lots of studies saying that everything is connected to the spine, and even chiropractors and physiotherapists would agree that all the organs are linked to the spine. So when I'm feeling like pain in my back and my neck, like I was feeling with anxiety, I was feeling my neck pain, jaw pain, but then it was again related to muscle cramps in the back. So this is just an example. And I have been seeing through my experience how much the posture and the spine is important to assess health. Next one is, it's a disgrace to grow old through sheer carelessness before seeing what manner of man you may become by developing your bodily strength and duty to their highest limit. So it's an invitation to lots of exercising, and they have done research at that time between tribes and different civilizations, and you can find these studies which said that people who were more energetic and would move a lot had better health and better level of fertility. So this was connected and they could see it since that age. If a person cares for his health, it's difficult to find a doctor who would know what's better for him. So definitely when we get a headache or when we get stomach pain, we learn to take a Panadol or take anything to tame that pain, but instead we have to ask, why is it there? Like, why do I want to shut the voice, my inner voice who's trying to tell me, hey, listen, something is not going well within you. Like, it's an inner voice, it's a wisdom, it's a gift from God, and then I want to just ignore it. So that's again a question. The greatest mistake in the treatment of diseases is that there are physicians for the body and physicians for the soul, although the two cannot be separated. Like, I don't believe that Plato has seen this. And nowadays in 2020, we go back to the same lack, which is, why don't we combine the treatment of body and soul to be able to treat a disease. And this is what in homeopathy, in fact, they do in every way. And this is why right now in my practice, we combine the coaching, the physiotherapy, the Ayurveda, the homeopathy together to make a right program for a person to heal. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. So when we find ourselves fighting old memories, then we have to know that something is going wrong. We have to know that this is a sign that we need to assess how is the past impacting our emotion and then consequently our health. So we need to build new habits, new lifestyle. We need to make changes so that the life force within us, and I'll talk about life force later and what it is, can just balance the body and help with the healing. Eat to live, not live to eat. I thought this is a very contemporary kind of a quote, but it looks like it's a very old saying, and it still works, I guess. To find yourself, think for yourself. That's Socrates. And envy is the ulcer of the soul. So he was able to see that the disease is connected. It's interconnected between body, mind, and soul. So now we move on to Stoicism. Stoicism is an ancient Greek school of philosophy. It's from the early 3rd century before Christ. I mean, here would be, I think, the surprise for most therapists, counselors, and coaches, because all the things we have been learning about positivity, about NLP, etc., is coming from Stoicism. Famous Stoics are so Seneca, Aurelius, Epictetus, Citium, Zeno. So we're going to see a bit of what practical exercises. In fact, all the books about Stoicism have practical exercises. So they would say perform early morning reflections. So that means it's nearly what we now as therapists ask the client to do, like every morning. Calibrate your mind, decide what you want, project what you want for the day. Practical physical self-control, like we need to be able to restrain ourselves. This is again is a Stoic advice. Practice late night evaluation. So it's about connecting to ourselves. So if you see the lessons to master, have the right perspective, render the right judgment, control your emotions, learn to forgive, improve your self-awareness, cope with adversity. Now, I have chosen a few quotes which are relevant in terms of immunity and health. Diseases is an obstruction to the body and not your will. That means there is always a will to change things. You need to use reflection. You need to you need to not even try, you need to go within yourself and work on your will and ask yourself, do you want to fight that disease, like subconsciously and consciously? Always count your blessings. Like this is what we read everywhere on social media right now, like count your blessings. This is a technique. Reflect yourself, take some time to critically analyze your day, like what went wrong, what were our mistakes, what did I do, etc. Controlling your emotions. You must frame your thoughts in such a manner that you're no longer enslaved by them. So it's again about taking control, about being able to realize what associations am I holding from the past, from my childhood, which are controlling my emotions today. How can I make it change regarding all these emotions? Coping with adversity. So this is one advice. Meditation. They were talking about meditation since a very long time. Look within. There lies your source of strength that will keep you going. You merely need to look for it. Like it is a natural process, a natural practice. We just have to highlight. So at this point, I would say we have seen lots of advice when it comes to approach to health, when it comes to how to approach the disease, and how to balance our well-being by working on our emotions, resolving things, meditating, etc. So the practical part of my presentation today is how to assess my health based on all this knowledge. That means, is it enough to go for a blood test? Will that prevent disease? If I go every year for a breast cancer checkup or pap smears, is that enough to prevent it? So my question would be definitely not, because what I have seen throughout my practice, even taking cases with my husband and translating sometimes cases into Arabic, all the cases related to cancer, etc., have lots of emotional burden, unresolved emotions. So this is where the question would be, when? My dream would be to teach kids and teenagers to deal with their emotions, not wait till we are 30, 40 and make all the possible mistakes, because what we do at the age of 20 reflects at the age of 40. So this is the thing. So these are the 22 questions I've kind of collected based on experience, homeopathic questionnaires, which might guide a person to know if there is already a dormant issue going on, which will reflect physically after some time. The first question is like, how happy are you? Like, this is an easy and difficult question, but if I'm unhappy all of the time, if I'm going to work dragged every day and I'm not feeling well, if I continue doing this, it would lead somewhere to some imbalance. How is the quality of your sleep? Do you wake up in the morning refreshed and energized? If not, it's worth like questioning, like what's going on, what's going wrong? Do you follow a balanced diet? Do you have a healthy relationship with food? If not, that means it can be an emotional trigger, which is like leading you to lots of potential disease in terms of like, let's say cholesterol, not high cholesterol, I would say like diabetes, etc. Do you sweat a lot? This is something which people don't really assess seriously, but it's very important. Is your sweat smelly? Do you sweat a lot? People go for surgeries just to close the ducts and to stop sweating. But I mean, logically, if all the sweat is being expelled and we're blocking it, it's going back, it's going inwards. What would it do? Is it possible that it won't affect us? The body is always balancing in the best positive way. Like, this is what life force is within us. Life force always directs the body and mind towards the best possible scenario. That means even in a case of cancer, this is the best scenario the body and the mind could come up with to help that person not to die. So it's not an evil approach of disease, because earlier when I studied the terminology of disease and the concept of disease, I realized that it comes from the approach of evil. This is why people consider that a disease comes from outside and attacks us, and it's an enemy, we have to fight it out. But the problem is, if we don't have an environment which is accepting that virus or that disease, it won't grow within us. So the real problem is the environment within us, not the disease itself. So how is your digestion? How is that? I mean, yeah, this is a tricky one, but it's important to mention. Like smelly stools, anything which is like, sometimes people consider that this is how my body is like. It's always smelly. It fills the house with this bad smell. No, you have to question it. It's not like necessarily pain which has to lead to questioning. Do you tend to feel breathless during the day? Do you feel a heavy weight on your chest or a lump in your throat when you get emotional? That's a trigger that you have unresolved emotions. You need to work on it. Do you tend to lose focus easily? Do you tend to forget things easily? So it doesn't necessarily mean dementia, but it means that, again, you're not able to focus because lots of things are going on inside your head, that there is some imbalance. How is your posture? What type of emotions do you think can be trapped behind your physical pain? Like, I would love to teach people to just take some time to ask their physical pain. Like, you will say, like, the physical pain cannot talk, cannot say anything, but I can assess my day and ask myself, like, what happened today which is making me like unsettled? Why am I having this tummy pain? Why am I like, some people would not sleep for days because they have a project to deliver, and then they fall sick and like, oh, I'm falling sick. Why am I falling sick? Because the body reached the point of forcing the person to lie down and sleep. So the body is working with us, not against us. That's again a different approach to health. Do you commonly burst into tears? Do you explode with anger and feel like you transform into someone else or something else or anything else? Like, because angry people sometimes compare themselves to animals, like they lose it, totally lose it. That again means that you're not okay within yourself. Do you tend to look into your childhood photo album or prefer to avoid it? Because if you prefer to avoid it, there is a lot going on in there. I can see people throughout my practice not able to look at their pictures as children. They pity them, they don't want to see them. So there are lots of things going on regarding what we have been through. Do you recall lots of past experiences during the day, like glimpses? Now then we have to stop and assess and say, I need to give time. Otherwise, this will lead to an imbalance. Do you struggle to dissociate between an intuition and an anxious thought? Like people sometimes think they have kind of sixth sense and they are able to, they feel that something is going to happen, something bad is going to happen, and they mix it with anxiety. And this is where they live in fear all the time, but thinking that whatever they are having as thoughts is going to happen. So we need to stop, and I would say like stop and think and ask, is it an illusion or reality? And then we know if we are starting to go into anxiety or not. Then do you forgive easily? Are there people you could not forgive till now? Then you have to forgive them. It's stuck in your cells. It's stuck in your energy. It's meaningful. It cannot be separated from physical pain. Do you experience mood swings without a reason? That means there must be some hormonal, emotional imbalance. What type of conversation do you have with yourself when you make a mistake, especially? Like I hear sometimes clients saying, like, I hear myself saying, like, I'm not good enough. I'm not, I always make mistakes. I don't look into details. It's criticism, but this is where the issue is. These inner voices are continuously playing in the mind the whole day, even the whole night. So we need to stop and question. What do you see and feel when you look in the mirror? Many people don't want to look in the mirror. They don't want to because they don't like what they see. And that means that they are not in harmony with themselves. Do you continuously feel like running away? That's also a sign that something is not going well. So based on this approach of holistic and old philosophy and wisdom, usually the physical pain comes next. It starts boiling within. When we're not able to balance it, it surfaces and becomes a physical symptom or a physical indication. So that means definitely, if we want to prevent disease, we have to continuously assess our life in different ways. And this is what I'm trying to spread awareness about, honestly. And this is what I care about. So here we reach this part, which is the guided meditation. In fact, I have prepared a short guided meditation. It's inspired by the concept of life force, because we all have what we call vital force. Sometimes in some philosophies we call vital force, life force, or chi, or ki, or psyche. It's just the concept, whether we want to take it in a simple way or in a complicated way. I think I would say it's just the energy which balances body and mind, and which makes us feel in harmony. Now, when the life force is bombarded by genetic predispositions or by environmental attacks, let's say, then it has to act, and based on that it acts. It triggers a weak point. It triggers whatever we have been carrying genetically within ourselves. So this is why people might have dormant cancer cells for years and it won't really surface, it won't be activated, because it's about how we live, it's about what are we going through, it's about lots of other things. So today it's more about being open to the life force communication, which, I mean, it communicates very simply with symptoms like I'm choking, I have a lump in my throat. That means it's giving me a sign. It's giving me a sign by just starting some allergy, some eczema on my skin to tell me that something is not going well inside. So I just put cortisone in it and it goes away, then I'm fine. Okay, it's like I tamed the voice again, my life force, which is trying to save me. I don't want to hear it. So today it's mostly about opening up to communicating with our body, with assessing the symptoms we get, asking what is to be done. Like, I look into my lifestyle, what am I doing wrong? Why did I get this disease? Why am I getting these symptoms? It's mostly about asking forgiveness, because sometimes life force has tried tremendously to save us, but in some way we didn't want to stop smoking or stop this or stop that. But the life force is there always to protect us. And this is where today I just don't want to go into spirituality. I just want to say that whatever is this force within us that balances everything, I want to tell that voice that, listen, I want to be in harmony with you. I want to listen to you. I want to assess more. I want you to guide me to be at the best state possible. So this is what our guided meditation will be about. So Mona, do you think we can start it? Should I straight away go ahead?
Joelle,
Yeah.
I think you're echoing just right now, so maybe.
Am I echoing?
Okay, Joelle, I don't know if you want to take questions right now before you go, or shall we do the questions at the end? What is the better way to do it?
I think right now is a good thing, because the meditation will be then more powerful if people if everyone here on board kind of clarifies what I'm trying to communicate.
Yes, that would be great. So for everyone who's on the call and also for people who are on YouTube now, if you have questions regarding, for example, regarding the questions, the 22 questions that Joelle also just had about yourself, maybe now is the time to ask them. I would like to just tell you now at this point that this is recorded live on YouTube, so if you don't want your image to show, please put your video off. If you are okay with it, you can go ahead, just letting you know. So let me start by asking you a question, Joelle. I actually had a question to you. Very interesting 22 questions. First of all, extremely interesting presentation, and I loved everything you said until now. The question about the photo album.
Yeah.
I kind of reflected on that, and I would like to have your opinion on that.
Excuse Mona, we can hear you properly.
Yeah,
it's echoing.
We can't hear you properly.
Joelle, maybe you have.
Yes, I don't know. Am I echoing as well?
Can you put your volume of your laptop lower so it doesn't, so my voice doesn't echo?
Just a second. Yeah, I'll try to do that.
Okay. Yes. Better? It's still echoing. Joelle, maybe you can mute yourself while I'm talking, and then when you answer, you unmute yourself.
Exactly.
Sorry, we'll have to go through this. Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, great. So Joelle, again, your question about the photo album, and it's just a personal thing that where I reflected, and I was kind of grinning in myself, because usually you know, you said looking at old photo albums, is it that some people, when they look at it, what do they feel? Do they not want to see it, or do they want to see it? Now, Joelle, you said that if you don't want to see old photo albums, that's a sign or something. What if you just what if you are just someone who lives more in the now and don't really want to look at old images, or you don't have a problem with it, but you don't really want to go back to the past? The reason why I'm asking is that I work with a lot of clients who keep holding on to the past, who keep going back and saying, I want to see the past, I want to see the past. And where I say, you know, why are you going back? And you kind of said the opposite. So I would like to have your opinion on that.
Okay, so I mean, based on my experience, if you don't make peace with the past. Like you would say that I want to live in the now and I don't want to look back to anything. But that's already like kind of stating that you have an issue with the past, because most people can look into their photos and they are not running away from their photos or their past. I would say the healthiest way is to be able to go through the images, if not really love what you see, but at least have a look at it. If you're blocking it, and what I'm trying to say is like question it. I'm not saying it's an issue. I'm saying question why. If the decision for the why comes reasonable in terms of like, I'm fine with it, I don't want to look back into it, I think it's worth assessing again. Like, is it because I want to close that can of worms because if I open it, things will come out of it? And I have seen people trying to deal with their present issues without wanting to open the past. And I had clients refusing to open up the past. And this is where I realized that they went from a therapist to another therapist, from a therapy to another type of therapy, and they could never heal. So what I'm saying is that we don't need to keep opening those photo albums, but we need to go through it once in our lifetime and make sure that we are at peace with it. Otherwise, it means that something is stored somewhere. I mean, even Freud would say it's like a snowball. It rolls and becomes bigger. So there is no way that you would not have an issue if you are kind of resisting the photo album that much. This is my opinion. Again, many therapists might maybe have different opinion.
Okay, no, thank you, Joelle. That clarified it. I think I misunderstood you before, where I thought you said, you know, you have to go back to your past, but now it relativated it everything. Because as I said, you know, many people are so stuck in the past and don't want to leave the past behind.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my...
I would definitely not interfere, but I would still feel and sense that there is an issue there. Like I respect, but yeah, somehow maybe you understood me the right way. I would always feel that there is something going on in the past, and I would try to assess it in a different way without having to go into scenes. I will do it through kind of questionnaires or coaching and resolve it indirectly.
Yeah. Well, I asked a question, but now anyone else who has a question, please, you can type it in, or you can also... Joelle, can you mute yourself just a minute again? Okay, so now anyone who wants to ask a question to anything that Joelle said, or else we can move to the guided meditation. But please, this is your chance to ask her any questions you would like. You can type it into the chat if you don't want to speak.
I wish I started from the beginning. You know me, I always have questions, but it was a mistake. I was waiting till 7. I forgot the change of hours.
I think that's what happened to many people now, and it's a shame. It is such a wonderful presentation, but then again, you can watch it again on YouTube. Yes, there are a lot of people who I just realized were still in the old time zone. Okay, Joelle, so I guess then maybe we can move on to the guided meditation.
All right. Okay, so I think I'm gonna get the audio from the downloads.
We are hearing it, Joelle.
You are hearing it?
Yes.
Oh, so I'm not hearing it.
Because maybe you put your volume down before.
Yeah, I tried to raise it. I'll do that. Okay, is that level fine, Mona?
A little bit more like it was before was better. A little bit more? A little more? Okay, perfect.
So then I want you all to just make yourself comfortable. Place your feet flat on the floor and rest your hands on your thighs. And gently allow your eyelids to close. It's just a way to relax, let go, letting all your cares and worries go. And at this moment in time, nothing matters. As you switch off your thoughts and just allow this time for yourself so that you can unwind completely. And as you begin to feel more and more relaxed, letting go of any worries or problems that may have been on your mind lately, today. And there is no need to fight any unwanted negative thoughts, as they will soon drift out of your mind again, just as easily as they came. I would like you to take 3 deep breaths, slowly filling your lungs with fresh air. And as you exhale, relax more and more. Again. Exhale. And inhale again. Exhale. And as you gently slow your breathing down, you begin to feel more and more relaxed, more and more comfortable. You will feel your whole body sinking into the couch, and you will notice how relaxed your whole body has become, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Your eyelids have become very heavy. As you let go of any tension in your body, you relax all the muscles in your jaw. Your jaw have become limp and relaxed as your jaw sinks down. And your tongue rests gently on the bottom of your mouth. And you're beginning to drift down deeper and deeper, feeling more and more relaxed with every word I speak. And as this wave of relaxation spreads down your neck and shoulders, and all the way down to your arms and fingertips, you may feel a tingling sensation in your fingertips. Your arms will grow heavy as you soon become aware of growing peaceful feeling inside. A feeling of calmness and contentment as you feel every muscle in your chest and abdomen becoming relaxed, and all the muscles in your back are relaxing, almost like a mental massage. And all the way down your spine, the muscles loosen and relax. And as you drift down deeper and deeper relaxed, you let this wave of relaxation spread all the way down your legs, so that your legs become as heavy as lead. And every muscle in your legs become limp, relaxed, so that you're completely relaxed from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And as the outside world fades more into the background, as you begin your journey into your own inner world, to that unique and special part of you that only you can go to, you continue to let go of any negative thoughts or feelings and any sounds around you or in the distance. The only sound that will matter to you will be the sound of my voice, which will continue to take you deeper the unnecessary nervous tension is going out of your body, becoming even more comfortable, feeling completely at peace and calm and content as you continue to drift down, really enjoying this wonderful feeling of complete relaxation. And there may be times when you will not be aware of your body. You won't be aware of your body at all. I want you to imagine yourself in a beautiful, peaceful, secure garden where you can connect with yourself. It can be a real or imaginary garden. I want you to look around you and focus on the beauty of a flower or a plant or even a tree or maybe a bird. Just choose one thing that catches your eye. Get closer to it, see the details, touch it, check if it has a smell, enjoy the moment. Drawn by the beauty and peace of the place, you fall asleep under a tree, feeling relaxed, and you have a special vivid dream. In that dream, you're able to touch each part of your body and feel its energy. You send love to all your organs, thanking them for their continuous effort. Sending love to your lungs, kidneys, liver, heart, stomach, or any part of your body that you need to send love to. Then you realize that there is a vital force within you, a life force, a force which makes sure the body and the mind are in harmony and balance. The life force may sometimes get affected by external factors or genetic factors. It gets under pressure, but the most important is that it does its best to balance the body and the mind and bring their energy back to harmony. You can feel your vital force everywhere in your body, regulating all the functioning in your body and mind. And you know it is always there for you and sends you messages, giving you the chance to understand what is going on inside your body and mind. Put your hand on your heart and connect with your life force. The life force is everywhere in your body and mind. It's like a guardian of your health and well-being. It's a regulating energy, a communicator between you and your hidden self. Each one of you will imagine it differently. You might be able to see it, hear it, feel it. I want you now to thank your vital force for maintaining your health and well-being in the best way possible. I want you to ask your vital force to forgive you if you have ignored its messages and haven't made efforts or changes to make her mission or its mission easier. I want you to tell your vital force that from now on you will start dedicating time to listen to your body and mind in order to achieve a better state of health and well-being. From now on you will understand your symptoms, question your thoughts, feelings, lifestyle, and environmental pressures, choosing to heal any physical ailment and improve your state of well-being. Explain to your life force that whatever are the self-limiting beliefs stopping you from supporting it, you decide to allow healing, good health, and happiness in your life because you choose to and you deserve it. Your dream comes to an end when you realized you have dozed off in the garden. You look around you and you repeat to yourself 5 times, I choose to be healthy and happy. I choose to be healthy and happy. I choose to be healthy and happy. I choose today and now to be healthy and happy. I choose to be healthy and happy. I want to grow older, looking and feeling healthy, happy, and fulfilled. Take a minute to imagine yourself in the future, growing older, looking and feeling healthy and happy. Knowing that you can come back to this garden and visualize yourself every day, healthy and happy in every way. I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and on the count of 5, you will be awake, ready to carry on in a relaxed and calming state of mind, going to sleep and having a beautiful, wonderful sleep later when you choose to. Knowing that whenever you wish to, you can relax creatively. 1, coming now, awake now. 2, focusing your attention back into the room. 3, stretching a little bit. 4, up, up, up. 5, you're centered, relaxed, fully awake to your positively unlimited personal potential. So I hope you enjoyed it. I wanted to say that this script is my own script. It's not available anywhere else. I'm sharing this meditation today because I know how simple and powerful it is. And I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I do enjoy it myself. I think I will just finish with the end of Filia's story because that's meant to be the end. So let me see.
Thank you, Joelle, for a wonderful meditation.
Thank you, you're welcome. I think again, this is stuck. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, so I think is the music still on?
Yes, good.
I'm trying. Okay, so I think I'll share again without this starting. Let me just close the whole thing. Okay.
So for those of you who missed the first part of Filia's story, you will have to go on YouTube and listen to it. The whole story of Filia, where we will now have the end, right? The ending.
I hope it didn't start again. Okay. So Filia understood that while being busy, exploring lots of ways to help others, seeking all types of answers, wanting to prove to everyone that she was a good sister, mother, wife, coach, she missed on the most important part, self-care. I mean, how common is this story? I thought that if I worked on myself a few years back, that would be enough. And that was another lesson. So Plato answered and said, keep connecting with thyself. In fact, this is what Plato keeps saying. It is a journey and we keep changing. So again, we need to assess. Hippocrates asked Philia, did you decide to heal from within? Did you let go of your self-limiting beliefs? And then after all the tests came back normal, Philia accepted the symptoms, started homeopathy treatment, applying all the techniques and knowledge she learned on herself. To her surprise, she was getting better day after day, and she learned a lot about health prevention. Socrates, what is health prevention based on your experience? And then Philia's answer is, it's about assessing continuously our overall health and especially our frame of mind. It's about communicating with your inner self and being in tune with your vital force. It's about taking the right decisions to become a happier, hence healthier person. It's about asking questions, Mr. Socrates. You were always right. So that's the end of my presentation. This is what I do. I'm the founder of Philolife Wellbeing Education Center, and you can contact me for if you have any questions or if you would like to have a chat or even a discussion. I'm open to all of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joelle. Thank you. Oh, now we're echoing again. Can you just mute yourself if we have any questions? Maybe this will be better now. Are you muted now?
Should I mute myself?
No, now it's fine. Now it's fine. I think it was only when you had your presentation. So I would like to say thank you very, very much. It was a wonderful, wonderful presentation. And, you know, so many times nowadays we hear about body-mind connection, things like you said, you know, whether it's mindfulness or healthy lifestyle, etc. Right? And we don't realize that it goes so far back. Yeah. So I really excellent reminder to all of us that everything that we're doing now is something that many philosophers have known for a long time, and we just need to connect back to it. Yeah. Who has a question for Joelle?
I see some nice comments in the chat. Thank you all for the nice comments, and I'm really happy that you enjoyed it.
You know, Joelle, since we have no questions, I think you explained it so nicely and so well. And I love the story that you had, you know, with Philia and that whole story. And it was so nicely said. I think that's why nobody has a question, because it was just really well explained. And maybe also following your wonderful meditation, everybody is in a kind of a very relaxed state right now.
Thank you so much, Mona.
So I would like to actually at this point here just say thank you again to everybody else who was on the call and who enjoyed this, everybody who joined us tonight for this series. Yeah. I want to second, you know, everything that you say here, and thank you for the extremely nice comments that you're putting in here. Inspiring, amazing, thank you, excellent meditation. You know, Joelle, you have a lot of such nice comments that, I mean, people are really taking this with them tonight to bed. And I'm sure that many of you will reflect on these questions. You can watch the replay at any time on YouTube. For everybody who is interested in watching more sessions, please do go onto my website, which is Mind Your Power, in one word, mindyourpower.org. Go to It's Your Life, all speakers, and you can watch all the replays. Not only Joelle's, but everybody else's. You will also be able to get the contact details of every single one. Joelle's contact details will also be on the website with her videos, so you can always get in touch with her. Now I can only say I'm very relaxed and I will go to bed, sleep very, very well after your lovely voice and meditation. Thank you again very, very much, Joelle. Thank you to everybody else.
And
I just wanted to say, please join in. If you enjoyed this, if you would like to hear more, please join us every Tuesday at the same time. Now, if you're in Lebanon, it will be 1 hour earlier for you. It is still 8 p.m. Dubai.
I got lots of messages on my phone that people have got confused between the timings. So,
Yes. We also have someone from Germany here. Thank you very much, Tina, for your comments. And of course, also, if you are watching from Germany, it will be now also 3 hours difference. So, tune in next Tuesday. Thank you, Joelle, and good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Who is talking? I didn't see.
I'm talking. I just wanted to say how inspiring this was, and really we take it to bed and watch it again, and just this was very inspiring, very moving, and very transforming already.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, Maria, very much. Okay.